You're watching News 4 San Antonio.
Senator John Cornyn pays a visit to folks in Sutherland Springs. The reason for his visit coming up.
And let the madness begin. Thousands of basketball fans and music lovers are descending on downtown, and we have team coverage. Good evening. The NCAA Final Four games tip off tomorrow, but so many events are going along with it. Underway right now, drawing thousands downtown, including our very own Delane Matthew, who is dressed for it with snagging some new merch, and Don Harris. Guys?
That's right. I chose the T-shirt with the big old 4. You know, I'm partial to the 4 thing, but we're having a great time. Absolutely. There's so many people downtown, and I love the fact that it is absolutely gorgeous weather-wise, right?
Everywhere
ask
you
for
go,
better weather.
When people find out you're from San Antonio, oh, you're from San Antonio? This is awesome. You guys should have this thing every year. So we've got that. In fact, instead of maybe every 10 years, how about more often? I'm going to talk to one of the biggest names in sports about that coming up later in the show. Randy?
All right, thanks, Don. Nearly 5 months now since that mass shooting at the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs. Some of the survivors are celebrating a new law that is aimed at preventing another mass shooting tragedy. The Fix NICS Act, as it's called, was signed by President Trump last week, and Amanda Weber was there today in Sutherland Springs as the flag that was flown over the Capitol on that day was placed outside the church. Amanda?
Pastor Frank Pomeroy of the First Baptist Church says he feels today's visit from Senator John Cornyn is not only symbolic, but helps in their healing process.
All this was choreographed by God to happen on this Passion Week.
Pastor Frank Pomeroy, along with his wife and several members of the congregation, met with U.S. Senator John Cornyn today. Cornyn is behind the Fix NICS Act to hopefully improve the current National Incident Criminal Background Check system, something Sutherland Springs shooter Dylan Patrick Kelly was able to take advantage of.
I know that after each of these shootings, whether it's at Parkland, Florida, or Las Vegas, or wherever, people demand that we do something. And the question I always have is, what is that something you want us to do?
Authorities say Kelly was able to purchase the guns he used in the mass shooting at a local outdoor store after lying on the background check forms. Senator Cornyn says the Air Force failed to upload information saying he'd received a bad conduct discharge from the service. Now, after signed into law, he hopes this will hold the federal government more accountable in uploading that information properly.
If the information had been appropriately uploaded by the Air Force into the federal criminal background check system, it would have shown at the point of purchase that he was lying, and he would have been denied that purchase.
Pastor Pomeroy says his congregation family is healing every day more and more, and this law brings an added comfort.
How we continue forward, I think, is putting our faith and our hope not in man. I thank God for the law that this man has produced, but it was God who gave him the wherewithal to be able to produce this law and to get it to be passed.
Construction is expected to begin on the new First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs in May. It will sit next to the current building that will be a memorial for the lives lost and changed forever. Amanda Weber, News 4, San Antonio.
Robert Price here at the live desk, where right now we have a crew on the way to a shooting on the northeast side, Sunrise Terrace and Sunrise Bend. We'll pass along any details we get during this newscast. We also have some new information coming in right now about a deadly shooting in East Bear County. This happened yesterday a little after 2 in the morning outside the Long Branch Saloon. This is near Atkins. The medical examiner has now identified the victim as Laval Thomas. He's 47 years old. He was shot in the head. Sheriff's office says Thomas got into an argument with someone in the parking lot, and that other person pulled out a gun and shot him. Randy.
All right, thanks, Robert. Look at traffic now downtown. People getting off 281 there to go to the Fan Fest and all of the other stuff. The concert's going on right now. Expected 93,000 fans in town for the Final Four weekend. So a great reason to take Via's Park and Ride tonight or the next couple of days. Via is offering Park and Ride service, $250 each way from 3 locations around town: Crossroads, Blossom, and Madla Park on the south side. It runs till 11 tonight, noon to 11 tomorrow, 1 p.m. till 11 on Sunday. And I'm thinking that's a pretty good investment. As our team coverage continues of all the excitement there, the March Madness, Delane and Don, who already beat the traffic today. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, we had to get down here really, really early, right? Because so many people were converging upon San Antonio's downtown.
But be patient, because there really is no beating the traffic. Everything in San Antonio always takes 20 minutes, Make it 40 this time around all weekend. Be patient and go leave early, and you'll get here and you'll do just great.
Yeah, you can tell by our chopper shot up there that it is really, really busy. Downtown is packed with so many people. And the Final Four will help people remember the Alamo even more. Alamo City right here. This year's Final Four logo consists of the Alamo roof line. So every product sold with that logo will benefit the landmark. That's pretty cool. T-shirt sales will donate 6% per purchase. Hats, 4%. And all this money will support the daily operations of the Alamo. I'm glad that I did my part with my with my T-shirt here today.
Money.
So, but of course, fans, downtown right now in the thick of things at the biggest event going on in the city right now.
Yeah, all over the Riverwalk, everybody's having a great time, but there's also all these free events, and then there's the Fan Fest, and nobody is having more fun than our own Renee Santos, who is right in the middle of it. Renee?
You know, Delane and Dawn, I just can't stop dancing because there's just so much music, so much fun. Darius and I have been here all day just taking a look at some of the fun activities happening right here in Fan Fest. We have basketball, football. So many people are still coming in here to join in all of that fun. Here's a look at some more fun.
Go Ramblers!
I'm in it for the weather, I tell you what. We're going to have high 30s on Sunday, and we are very happy to be here. This will be cool.
To see these players from Loyola, their pictures all over the hotel, it's amazing. It's unbelievable.
Totally surreal. We never thought that we would get here, so it's fun to be here with all the lights and all the Fan Fest activities. So yeah, we're having a great time.
How cool is it to see so many people in San Antonio for this event?
It's nice. I enjoy it. Going around, seeing all the different people, talking to them, finding out their backgrounds and the teams they pull for.
Stay until Monday because we're planning on a win, so sorry to the rest of you.
Very thankful. Glad the rain went out. It's a beautiful weekend, definitely for everyone to come out, but I'm glad the rain went away. Have you tried any of the food?
Not yet. No, we went to Materas last night.
Oh, well, we did,
yeah.
Yeah,
okay, how was Mitiera? We got to know.
Tastes some of the best Mexican food I've ever had.
I think my two boys want to stop by every merchandise shop, and they want to buy everything here. Now, I just want to, make sure they have a good time, but just walking around and taking the whole experience in is what we're looking forward to.
Again, Delane, Dawn, me, I'm going to talk for myself. We have the best assignment today covering the Final Four right here in San Antonio. So much fun. You can see Fan Fest is already packed, and it's going to be packed even more this weekend. Back to you.
All right, Renee, thank you so much. The fans having a great time, but I'm guessing the players are laser focused right now.
Yeah, they all practiced today, and in the same vein as loving San Antonio, one of the biggest legends in all of college basketball speaks out about San Antonio and the Final Four and whether or not we should host it more often. We've got that straight ahead in sports.
And the March Madness Music Festival is well underway. We're going to show you why this bag, because of some security measures, has become the hottest commodity in San Antonio. Coming up.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Our team coverage of the Final Four games here at the Alamo Dome in beautiful San Antonio, Texas continues tonight. If you've been downtown during any of this today, you've noticed it's basically been transformed.
Rock and roll.
That's
you can
right.
Hear the music.
Yeah.
Our Adam King is at Music Fest. And Adam, a lot of planning goes into this, huh?
Yeah, Don Delane, we heard after everything that happened in Austin and in Schertz, there was going to be some security measures taken here, especially the March Madness Music Festival. If you look over here, the security lines, they've been working nonstop since about 2 o'clock this afternoon. This was a first come, first served concert series. And if you take a look from our chopper, they showed up. This crowd is absolutely packed, and when you're dealing with crowds this big for an event that's so in demand, maybe not necessarily for the basketball fan, but for the live performance fan, the importance of safety and security at these events becomes very clear, even for state representatives like William Hurd, who said earlier today that this weekend's events took more than a year and a half in the making of planning.
They've been planning for well over 18 months, almost daily, to ensure that this is a fun event and it's a safe event, and everybody should come down.
Now, if you've got anything that's bigger than a bag that's 5.5 by 8.5 inches, which is a little bigger than the phone, any kind of clutch, you're going to need something like this year. That is a clear bag policy that they've implemented this year. It's just the next step they've taken to help keep the events for March Madness all weekend long nice and safe. Randy?
All right, thanks, Adam. Coming up, a routine traffic stop turns deadly. The whole incident captured on body cams and dash cams. Stay tuned to find out just what happened and where.
And our weather certainly is on cruise control, and it is really nice as we head into your weekend. But there are changes ahead, including a few thunderstorms. We'll show you exactly when to expect them and if they'll be heavy in that forecast coming up right after this.
Robert Price back here at the live desk, where after learning they would not face any criminal charges, 2 Baton Rouge police officers have now learned their fate with their department. The police chief has now wrapped up a news conference. He has announced Officer Blaine Salamone has been fired by the department for his role in the deadly shooting of Alton Sterling. His partner, Officer Howie Lake, will be suspended for 3 days without pay. Both had separate disciplinary hearings last night. The chief says Officer Salamone chose not to answer any of the questions, while Officer Lake answered every question. Randy?
All right, thanks, Robert. Across Texas, an update to a story we brought you here last night. We now know the name of the man who was shot to death during a traffic stop by a police officer in Pasadena, Texas, near Houston. It was 44-year-old Marco Antonio Saavedra, who was pulled over there for running a stop sign. You'll see in the dash cam video, shortly after stopping, the driver gets out of the car, points a handgun at the officer. The body cam video shows when the officer opens fire. He did shoot the man there in the street. The man died. It's not clear whether the suspect fired any shots at the officer.
He was very animated with his hands. Before he stood up, placed his right hand behind his back. The officer gave him verbal commands, which time the suspect drew a weapon, pointed it at the officer.
The case is going to be turned over to a grand jury to determine whether that shooting was justified.
4-Zone weather.
Sunny skies and hardly a cloud to be found across our area here on this Good Friday. What a beautiful day it has been. Certainly hope you have enjoyed it. Let's talk about what's happening tonight, though. A little bit of astronomy. It is a full moon. It's known as the pink moon. But in this case, too, it's also the second full moon of the month. So we call that the blue moon there. And that's, of course, the old saying, it happens once every blue moon. So it doesn't happen very often. On average, about every a little over 2.5 years, we'll get a blue moon. And the next one's going to occur in 2020, Halloween 2020. Also, do want to point out, too, that tonight's pink moon, full moon, also represents the start of Passover. And, of course, Easter then follows the first Sunday afterwards here. So it's a significant full moon in the cycle of the year. Temperatures right now, we look here around the metro, 72 in the Boulevardy and New Braunfels at 74. There we have Helotes at 76. So nice, comfortable temperatures. And a few 80s are showing up as we work off to the west and to the southwest. But it's warm, but without the mugginess. And that's really illustrated well when you look at the dew point temperature. That's the muggy factor, the sticky factor of the air. You notice in all locations it's in the 40s or the 50s. So in our comfort index, that is just about right there, pleasant. But that will change later tonight and tomorrow. We're going to start to pick up a surface flow coming in off the Gulf, and with it, you could actually see the bit of cloudiness coming in as well overnight, especially as you work into the western half of our area. Might even get a little sprinkle or a little mist way out to the west. And I do expect a little bit of that in and around San Antonio first thing, but through the day, generally speaking, mostly to partly sunny skies, delightful weather for your Saturday. And then let's take our clock into Sunday morning. And I expect another batch of low cloudiness to sort of start the day off. The cloud cover you see here, now our in-house computer model melts it away. It may be a bit more stubborn than what you see here, so let's account for at least variably cloudy skies, or maybe peaks or a few pokes of a little sun through those clouds there on Easter Sunday. Our 4-zone forecast out west, 60 tonight, 55 into the hill country, and again a little bit of cloud cover, especially the western half of the area. Beautiful day tomorrow as we look from the west to the east. Temperatures are more comfortable. The humidity level's a little bit higher. Final four tomorrow, the two big games into the evening. If you head down to the Alamo Dome, 82 degrees there at 5 o'clock, 71 into the evening. Easter Sunday, we'll start with a bit of cloudiness, and then we'll see those temperatures climb with a few breaks of some sun into the lower 80s into the afternoon. The next rain chance will come in on Monday. Slight chance, especially out to the west. And then as we head into Tuesday, as this little upper level system moves by, that'll bring us a chance for a thunderstorm into the area here. So that is where we have maybe the possibility of maybe a gusty storm in the mix there. You see our 7-day forecast, 40% chance of a shower or thunderstorm. There you see on Tuesday of next week. That's a look at your forecast. Have a great one.
All right, Chris, I'm Don Harris live at the Alamo Dome. Much more on Final Four Friday, including the play-by-play legend who will call these games for TBS has a very strong take on whether or not San Antonio should ever host this event again. We've got that right after this.
Blue raspberry cherry.
Yep, San Antonio proud. The fans love it. The coaches love it. And the man who calls the games says nothing tops it. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Alamo Dome, where we had Final Four Friday today. All 4 teams practiced, and we had a college all-star game in front of thousands of fans. Now, this was the first chance for us to get a look at the football configuration for the first time ever inside the Dome. We're going to have 70,000 people here. Sister Jean was here as well, as was former Spurs coach Larry Brown, who's an honorary member of the Kansas coaching staff this trip. You know, it's been 10 years since San Antonio hosted the Final Four. And get this, play-by-play legend Jim Nance says that's too long.
It's great to be in San Antonio. It's been too long. You know, I've been here for all of them. So 98, 04, 08. And to wait for 10 years, I go to these Final Four cities every year and say, it's nice. It's not San Antonio. I love when you have the ability to draw all the fan bases together outside of just the Dome. Be able to take the river walk, be able to walk the streets, the spirit of the city. I mean, I am all in. I could be the greatest ambassador for San Antonio if they wanted me to be. I'll try to be this weekend on the air.
Man, that's good stuff. Strong praise from the man who will be calling his 33rd consecutive Final Four tomorrow. And one of the best parts about Final Four Friday is it's free for the fans, and they get a chance to be a part of it. Get this, 93,000 visitors are coming to San Antonio, and as Jim Nance just said, they love it. In fact, I was sitting on press row, and I heard one of the Loyola assistant coaches say, I've never been to San Antonio. This is awesome. And he's not the only one. Our John Elizondo has more.
It has been 10 years since San Antonio hosted the Final Four. Maybe 10 years too long. But this year it's back. Bigger, louder, and better than ever.
San Antonio is one of those cities where everything's kind of contained. You know, everything's downtown, you got hotels.
Oh, I love San Antonio. The river walk is amazing. I love it. You go down, the party's going on. Oh, it's wonderful.
This weekend, San Antonio is a place for everyone. A warm destination for some first-time visitors. How's it treating you guys?
Oh, wonderful. Thanks for the weather.
Yeah, lovely weather. We're loving the 80 degrees.
A little bit warmer here in San Antonio.
Yeah. And drier. We've had monsoons the last week.
And others just really excited to make a return trip. Is this your first time in San Antonio?
No, 10 years ago I was here when we won. Woo!
My mom has been to 22 Final Fours. I'd rather pull her up.
You've been to 22 Final Fours?
Yeah.
What do you think about the Final Four in San Antonio?
Oh, they're very nice. I think we've been to all of them here in San Antonio, and it's a very nice city. They put on a good show.
What do you think of San Antonio as a Final Four city?
I think it's awesome. I think it should get in the rotation a little bit more. It should be more than 10 years in between Final Fours.
I'm glad it's back here, and I'm sure it'll be back here again in years to come.
Doesn't matter who wins the national title on Monday night. I think it's safe to say the Alamo City might be the biggest winner of the weekend. At the Alamo Dome, John Elizondo, News 4, San Antonio.
All right, thanks a lot, John, and it's just getting started. Remember, Jason Aldean is in concert tonight at the Music Fest. Imagine Dragons tomorrow, Maroon 5 on Sunday. If you're coming downtown, be patient. It's a little more traffic than you're used to, but again, it's a great time so far. And again, the games tip off tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. Much more coming up at 6:30 and at 10 at the Alamo Dome. Don Harris, News 4, San Antonio.
All right, thanks, Don. And still ahead on News 4 San Antonio's evening break tonight, there's a new event to help veterans here cope with the aftermath of war. We'll tell you about the organization behind it and the services they'll be providing on site. And we take you again live from our World Car Sky 4 helicopter. That is over Hemisphere, where they're getting ready for the big Jason Aldean concert tonight. Gates are open. We'll have more in just a moment.